Shana Tova. First, let me say thank you to Rabbi Marv and Cantor Elon and our staff for asking me to speak with you today. Making Aliyah to this bima is a joy for me. I am honored and I am humbled to be able to serve you in this way. It has been 19 years since I last spoke to you at this time of year. My life has changed in remarkable ways over these years. I recovered from a horrific scam. All 3 of my nephews have married. 6 new grandnephews and nieces are now present in our world, and a 7th baby boy will join us in January. 2 hip replacements, 2 cataract surgeries later, and here I am, again, honored to speak with you today. Alongside these personal life events, I continue to experience the blessings of being a part of this congregation. And please know that I never, ever take any of this for granted. I share my story with you again today to remind all of us of the importance of sustaining this blessed spiritual home we call Temple Bethel. My goal is to remind you, to inspire you, and trust you will support and nurture the life of this congregation. My father of blessed memory and my mother are Jewish, but I grew up never feeling Jewish. My sister is Jewish, she married a Jew, and she raised 3 Jewish mensches. I never felt Jewish as an adult, even as I watched my nephews become bar mitzvah. I do recall as a child going to dinner occasionally on Friday nights at my grandparents' home, and I remember holiday dinners with special foods, but we never did anything Jewish. When I was a teenager, I asked my parents if we could join a synagogue, and their answer was no. It was too expensive. So I decided that when I became a teenager, and I was 16 years old, I could drive myself around and I would join a temple. I got my driver's license, but I never went to temple. When I went away to college and made new friends, we would learn about one another and discover who each of us was. Friends told me that because I did nothing Jewish, I wasn't really a Jew. I came home for the first winter break and told my grandfather that I was not Jewish because of what I had learned about myself. Especially proud that I had gone to the university, he nevertheless took my face in his hands and squeezed me tightly and said that I would always be a Jew. In fact, he said, I could never deny my Jewishness because if Hitler were to return, I would be killed. I responded that that was a quite ridiculous and terribly negative reason to be considered a Jew. I wandered for 4 decades, similar to my Israelite ancestors, but I never pursued my Jewishness until the late summer of 2003, when I was confronted with a personal hate crime. Early one July morning, I began my walk with my dog, and I saw scrawled on the front of my garage wall the words, "Fat Jew," a Star of David that was crossed out, and a swastika. I was angry, I was hurt, but I was mostly confused because why would someone acknowledge me as a Jew when I myself did not feel or act Jewish? The perpetrators were probably local teens I had disciplined in my role as dean of students at the high school where I worked. I wondered how they knew I was Jewish when I never shared that description of myself. I notified the local police who took a crime report. I photographed the garage wall before the neighbors and I scrubbed it, and I placed the photos in my purse. They became the needed reminder that I was Jewish. I remained confused and felt the terrible pain in my heart that just would not stop. I asked myself repeatedly why the pain would not go away. I could not find an answer to my question. I wanted to heal, so I began my search to feel better. I saw an ad in the newspaper for an open house at Temple Bethel. I thought a while about this, and I decided to take a risk and go. I entered this incredible place to people, to Jewish people, who welcomed me with hugs and a warmth that are unparalleled. They touched my soul, my Jewish soul. They knew something that I did not know about myself. I decided to join this family in August 2003. I made it a point to get involved as best I could with little to no knowledge of Judaism, worship, or Jewish life. I joined sisterhood. I went to every Shabbat service I could. I attended weekly adult Torah study and gained relationships with my Torah study buddies. I began adult Hebrew classes with Debbie Rowe, who inspired me with more knowledge than I ever hoped to gain. I took every class Rabbi Leib of blessed memory taught. I stood for 4 straight hours at Elliot Shwarts' business to pinch Hamantaschen. Steve and Josie Morris, Bunky and Frankie Victor, Marty Herman of blessed memory and Linda, and Sid Brickman of blessed memory and Barbara invited me to dinners in their homes. Temple President Andy Kaufman asked me to join the Temple Board of Education. Irv Siegelman of blessed memory asked me to go to lunch and join him in working on the New Year card fundraiser. George and Barbara Mayer and Barry and Diane Gross asked me to join them and their families to break the fast at Yom Kippur. I would read the Temple Bulletin from cover to cover. I made financial contributions to the Temple General Fund every single month. I went to every event I could fit into my schedule, and I found myself looking forward to any and all of the experiences Temple Bethel offered. I went on a Temple trip to Israel. I attended Cantor's concerts. Most recently, I attended a women's retreat at Camp Newman. And then, incredibly and much to my surprise, after a few years, I became Temple President, serving 2 terms. I learned so much from sermons over the years, from Rabbi Leib and Rabbi Briskin, and from others who would contribute to my Jewish journey. I listened to Cantor Elon chant and pray at every Shabbat service, and I began to hear a new voice in my broken heart. I feel it may have been God's voice, and thus God's healing presence. The pain I had felt was indeed dissipating, and I was falling in love with my Temple Bethel family and with my Jewishness. My personal journey would continue, and I did not know where I was headed. After a year or so, when I had discovered the painful words painted on my garage, I still had the photos in my purse to remind me that I was Jewish. In July of 2004, I discovered, much to my great surprise, that I wanted to become a bat mitzvah, and I contacted Rabbi Leib with my request. He said he would support me and that he, Debbie Rowe, and Cantor Elon would teach me. I could not believe what was happening. I had wandered for those 40 years, as had my ancestors in the Sinai, and I had discovered my Jewishness at Temple Bethel, where I would study more and become what I was all along and never knew. I had no idea that my religious journey would take me to this auspicious and meaningful place in life. After all, I had no idea that my religious journey would impact me in such a meaningful and profound way. I had only wanted to prove to some unknown vandals that if they thought I was Jewish, then I would do something Jewish. I realized I had turned a very painful situation into an opportunity to heal, and more importantly, to be the Jew my grandfather had told me I could never deny being. I probably should have, back then, joined Weight Watchers too. And now, it is time to tell you, I no longer carry the photos in my purse to remind me about being a Jew. In fact, I threw out the photos years ago. I became a bat mitzvah at our beloved spiritual home on July 8th, 2005. I am a really happy Jew and proud to say I am Jewish. This story of mine, this journey, this person you are listening to now is healed because of the character, the generosity, and the spirit of this Temple Bethel family. Your commitment to welcome the stranger, to provide the remarkable quality of life to this temple, to reach out and open your arms, benefits more than perhaps some of you may realize. You have mended a broken heart, and I always will remain grateful. Over the years together, we have welcomed new rabbis, and we have said our goodbyes to them. We have managed a pandemic and gained strength from our working together. We have endured a January 6th and an October 7th, days of true infamy. We have served one another, and we have given to others. We are our best Jewish selves. It is now that we must come together during these days of awe in the form of donations and contributions to our religious home and family. I am no math maven. I am no financial wizard. But I have learned, and I want each of you to know, that our commitments cover only half of what it actually costs to maintain the operation and integrity of this temple. Without your ongoing contributions, we will not be able to continue to enjoy the blessings of our gifted staff, our remarkable rabbi and cantor, our amazing Torah school, and our beautiful environment and programs. We must give more and more to sustain our blessed community. My favorite math teacher, you know him as Cantor Elon, tells me that if every temple member gave at least $180 during these high holy days, we could meet this portion of our fundraising goal to sustain our temple. Rabbi David Wolpe writes, Judaism has always embraced the ideal of charity toward the future. Famously, the old man in the Talmud, who was planting a carob tree he will never eat from, explains that it was done by his ancestors for him. Moses, like Herzl, leads people to a land he will not himself inhabit. Jeremiah buys land in Israel as the people are being exiled in the hope of future return. Generations of Jews learn to see themselves not only as inheritors, but as ancestors. We hold in sacred trust for those who follow. And thus, I say to you today, it is indeed our responsibility. It is surely our common vision, and it is our best opportunity to be a part of this mitzvah, to donate so much that the Temple Bethel family can continue to be all that it is, and that it will be for the generations to come, l'dor v'dor. We deserve nothing less. I have learned that there's a little bit of each of us in one another, and it is now that I ask you, with the same honor and humility that I began my talk with you today, that you reach inside yourselves, into your hearts, and give a whole lot more to support this incredibly special place and all that it means to us. We are blessed with talented religious leaders in Rabbi Marv and Cantor Elon, who together and individually enrich our lives, the lives of our children, and our whole community beyond measure. And we have an obligation to make sure their gifts to us can continue. The worthiness of our traditions reflects the compassion, the expertise, and the talents of these temple leaders. We have a unique home here and a sanctuary that reflects all the immeasurable attributes of this worthy congregational family. I treasure the words I learn all the time from Torah, and I'm learning that our actions breathe ongoing life into our sacred text and our temple home. Our acts of tzedakah today will truly make a difference to our lives here at Temple Bethel. Our obligation to one another now and to the future of our wonderful Temple Bethel family is to give generously, to give righteously, and to give so much that we can continue all that is so very special here. And so, my friends, I don't want you to give until it hurts. I want you to give so much that it doesn't hurt anymore, like my heart that doesn't hurt anymore. L'shana tova tikatevu. And now you'll see in the front, I think, of your chairs there, these green pieces of paper, upon which you can write down that which you can give from your heart to our family, and give those to Shoni. And technology is here today. There's also a, what do you call those things?
Code.
A what?
A QR code.
Yeah, QR code. Anyway, you could do whatever you're supposed to do with those, and your money goes through. I don't understand it. I don't know. You could write a check too, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, and those Zoomies on the Zoom, whatever, you don't have a green one of these, I don't think, but you can surely contact Shoni and arrange your contribution this year as well. Some beautiful teens, I think, are coming by to collect. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
So if you're comfortable writing today, you could fill it out, and the beautiful people will pick it up, or you can wait and drop it off on your way out today. Okay? Thank you. Shana Tova.